Well, hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, my dudes. What's up, Kyle? Kyle's here. 8:04 p.m. Central Time here in San Antonio. It's not raining, thank God, which I think some ways we do need rain. But summer's approaching, and we're getting that nice, hot Texas weather coming up soon. But welcome to the experience, people. As you can see, I'm Drew, and joining me here is
Justin from Spinebuster Tees and SpinebusterTees.com.
yes, sir. And unfortunately, there is no third man tonight. There's no Ruben. Ruben took a sick day today. I'll just leave it at that. But he should be back next week, ready to go, like we both are. But before we get out of the way, what's up? How you been, Justin? It's been a minute.
That's okay. Just working. Nothing too extraordinary. Been going around my parts. Same old.
It's good to hear. I am now working out again. I'm back at the gym. I'm back at Fitness Connection. Again, they had a deal going on where they're like, hey, you want to come back? $14.99. You don't have to pay anything right now. There's no down payment. Just sign up and you won't get charged till June. So I'm like, all right, sounds like a decent deal because I do need to, work on my health. So I've been going to the gym for the past few days and, happy to hear it. I'm happy. I'm happy for myself because
what are you like trying to change your diet or whatever?
I always use the term ish, almost like I'm as a joke, but in some ways I'm serious because I just little steps. Like I really just want to get rid of this. I'm all stomach, like because I've never been naturally big. I've always been kind of a skinny kid, back in like middle school and high school. But as an adult, when you start working more, you start to afford your
metabolism.
Metabolism. Yeah. So I basically just got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of being fat and out of shape and feeling bad. Because now I'm feeling bad just even eating food that I used to like. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I tell people this all the time. It's about staying active somewhat. Like you don't have to go to the gym every day, but it's your portion intake. If you're buying large drinks and large meals, you're consuming more calories.
Right.
Like now I'm off like regular soda completely. I can't not drink soda. I need to have some type of soda. That's why I've been on my liquid deaths, my liquid death teas, and my liquid death sparkling waters, which tastes just like a regular soda. It's not exactly the same, but it's definitely a good replacement. That's for sure.
Your camera's kind of screwy. It's a little like the frame rate's kind of off.
Not me. I'm moving fine on this side.
Hold on.
Yeah. Chat, can we confirm that? Over here on my side looks fine.
Kyle, can you confirm? Might have just been my side. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that I've been on the whole liquid death kick of the teas and the sparkling sodas, and they have flavors that are very similar to the popular drinks. So they have like a cola one, they have a Dr. Pepper one, they have a Mountain Dew one. That's inspired. It tastes just like the other product as well, but it's a lot healthier. It's a lot healthier, and yeah. I mean, so like, because all the other drinks that we drink, right? Like a lot of people are satisfied by it. Obviously, this is not as pungent as let's say a Dr. Pepper or a Coke, but it gets the job done for me at least.
I like liquid deaths. I remember I haven't tried the other flavors. I just tried the regular water. And
you got it. The water. I won't say it's crap. It's good, but like you got it. No, that's not the reason to get a liquid death. You gotta get a liquid death either for the teas if you're into tea, or if you're into the sodas. It changes the game. It changed to me at least.
No, I get you, but like I just remember one time I was at a workout where I just went for a walk and I came back and there was a liquid death and it was the water. Drank that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is good.
It's good. It is good. But like they're like maybe like a few years ago they weren't as accessible, but now they are more accessible. So like I can get a 6-pack from either Walmart or HEB, or I could go to Five Below and get a tall can. Like, they're very accessible. Like, I could go to QT, give me a liquid death tea or soda, or whatever. So they're accessible now, very accessible. So I'm glad I found my niche. And I drink one in the morning for the tea because the tea has natural caffeine, so it kind of boosts and wake me up. Then I kind of drink one in the evening. Then for the rest of the day, I'm just drinking straight water. So
I need to get those. Yeah, I was telling you. I remember telling you a while back. Like, I don't even like regular soda anymore. Like, I had one a while back, and I'm like, ooh.
It's like I can have one every now and then, right? But like not as a everyday. Like, for example, they don't have a Liquid Death Big Red or whatever, right? If I really want a Big Red, I'll get a Big Red. You know what I mean? But like they don't have like an equivalent taste for a Liquid Death. So, like,
yeah, like I actually like zeros, even though granted zeros it may not be healthy, but it's less sugar than a regular soda, and to me it's a little bit better. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try out the other flavors of Liquid Death.
I mean, granted. If you drink anything else in consumption, right, in mass, like it's going to fucking like it's not good, right? But each can, a small can like this is 10 calories. I don't know if you can see that there, but 10 calories. That's the label there. If anyone wants to pause and look at it, but for anyone who wants to try to ease their way out of sodas completely and like those sweet teas completely, Liquid Death is a very good option, I think. And it's natural too. It's not like it's like all natural shit in there too. So it's like there's nothing like artificial. So
right.
I don't feel bad drinking one.
And it also helps that I know somebody who works at a healthy grocery store, and Justin knows what I'm referring to.
Right.
But I'll definitely see if I can go tomorrow and get some. But yeah, it's been a week. It's been a while since you've seen us lately. There's been a lot going on. The Spurs are in the playoffs. They're in the conference finals, and a lot of shit going on in there, dude. Like, just I don't know. I usually don't like to use the word rigged a lot. I think people try to do a lot of that pie in the sky theory when it comes to sports, but I'm just seeing this. I'm like, I don't know, man. Something's a little off. Something's a little sus about this. Right. It almost seems like they purposely want this to go to 7 games.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Like, we usually don't talk sports. I mean, sometimes we do, but like for the most part, we're wrestling. But like, what are your overall thoughts about this series?
About as I expected.
Okay.
Before the series, I mean, I know we didn't talk about it. I have OKC winning the series. I don't want them to win, but this is a prediction, not what I want to happen.
Right.
And I predicted to myself that OKC was going to win in 7.
I figured OKC was going to win because the Spurs aren't ready yet. I mean, it's a new year. I mean, it's kind of a new regime in the NBA where a lot of younger teams are more successful, because last year OKC was a young team. So
yeah, but it wasn't their first year either. It took them a couple years before this is the Spurs' legit first year going through, So
yeah.
And a lot of people were talking about their experience. Well, their experience is showing in certain situations in this series. So but it's what it is. The game 6 is tomorrow, and we'll see what happens.
No, agreed. I don't think they're gonna win. I do think it'll go to 7, but all in all, I think OKC's winning.
Now the Spurs win by all means. Like, I'll be.
I mean,
I'll be a happy camper, but
we'll be happy as fuck. And then on the other side, you have the Knicks in the finals, which was kind of predictable because you look at that Eastern Conference. It's like, who else? Because it wasn't going to be Detroit.
Detroit didn't get there to play them.
I don't even think they would have won.
Not to say they would have won, but they wouldn't have been swept. I tell you that.
True.
They wouldn't have gotten swept. They would have at least made a 5-6 game series.
Yeah, you're right. But good for the Knicks, obviously, and we have our friends from New York. Like RJ, who's the ultimate Knicks fan.
Win or loss, if the Spurs, let's say Spurs get to the finals and they end up playing the Knicks, if we lose to the Knicks, I won't be that mad.
No,
I won't be that.
either.
I won't be that mad because I think the city deserves that championship if they end up winning the championship. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I'm happy for the Knicks.
Yeah.
I know. RJ pretty much said, "Hey, we're pulling for y'all." Like
Yeah.
we hate OKC, but yeah, but good for the Knicks. Obviously, we would want our Spurs to win, but I don't think they're going to win. That's just my opinion. But I mean, I'm happy for a team that's this young. They've gotten this far.
One thing I will say that's been blaring to me, and I said this earlier in the season, and I've said this many times before, but Wemby, they need to have an actual center to help Wemby, because Wemby, he's not a center. Just because you're that tall, it doesn't mean you're a center. He plays like a wing. He plays like a power forward. And I remember if it was either you or someone else I spoke to, they're like, well, no, Wemby's a center. I'm like, no, he's not a center. Oh, it was probably you. Okay. Like, Wemby's not a center. Like, just because you're that tall doesn't it doesn't equate to you being that particular position. Magic Johnson was 6'9". He could have played small forward, maybe power forward, but guess what he played? Play point guard. Play point guard. Play out of his, height. I don't think Wemby is people are saying get Wemby in the post, get Wemby in the post. Like, it's very, very hard for him to get in the post when the rest of the guys on the floor are 6'7" and under. So I think if Wemby were to have like another guy that can start alongside him, not Cornette, maybe like a Domantas Sabonis, maybe there's someone in the draft, maybe there's somebody else that they can put next to Wemby, and where Wemby can, at that point, he can do whatever the fuck he wants on the floor at that point, because if someone's going to be in the post, he's naturally going to be more open on the wing at that particular point in time, and he can help off the weak side as well on defensive effort. I think that's what Spurs' biggest thing they need to do this offseason is to get a legit starting center next to Wemby.
Oh, sorry about that. I was just pulling up some more topics while you were talking. No, I agree with you, because like Wemby's getting really gassed out because they're playing him so many minutes. As good as Cornette has been, he's been ineffective. He's not that guy. He might as well be a traffic cone up there.
I wouldn't say that, but
Well, I mean, I just don't think there's only so much he can do, because he's not really a scorer and he's not really a defender. He's just, the best way to put it, he's I guess he's a body.
I don't really see him like that, but sure. Maybe in the series, yeah, but overall, no. I don't necessarily agree with that.
But yeah, I do agree with you wholeheartedly that regardless of what happens in this series, whether it's in the draft, because they still have Atlanta's draft pick. And
we're getting like the 14th, 15th pick. It's fine. It's within, it's outside the lottery, but whatever.
I mean, you can still find something, at least.
You can, but like to me, it's like I just wouldn't bet on. Like this draft pick. I wouldn't bet them coming in and to be a productive piece right away. We need to get someone. We need to get somebody in either in the trade market or whatever. I think Fox. I love Fox, and I think people really kind of they don't really appreciate Fox as much. I think, but I think he may be on the chopping block for a trade, possibly, if we end up going that route.
Yeah, I can see that happening. He's been very in and out. Not even just in the playoffs in the season.
Without Fox, we would not be in this position right now either, though.
No. Agreed. It's kind of like it's a double-edged sword, because it's weird because Fox, when he's not scoring, he finds other ways to keep himself relevant in the game. Because the other night he had 10 rebounds,
Right,
and 12 points, and he's also one of the the better facilitators on the court. Him and Harper. I mean, I do think eventually they do want Harper to be in that starting position, because as good as Castle is, Castle's not really a guard. He's not really a point guard. I'll correct myself.
right.
He's kind of he's a shooting guard and a small forward.
He's a wing player.
Right.
He's a slashing wing player.
And it's just like they're all young. Like he's in year 2, so like he's only going to get better. He just needs to cool it with the turnovers and also the fouls. Now that's kind of it. Wemby, I do agree with you. He probably should be a power forward because he's not. I mean, granted, what exactly is a center nowadays in the NBA?
No, sure.
I think Jokic is maybe
But,
like
but
the only true-ish center.
positionally on
Yeah.
the floor, right? He can work himself outside. A lot of people say, "Oh, when we need to stop, shooting threes and stop shooting long." Like you do realize if they were to get an actual big man center that can play alongside Wemby, he can do whatever the fuck he wants on the floor because they can run pick and roll to get him to the basket a lot easier. You can use this new center to create space. It's that's the missing piece for the Spurs right now, to me.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. Very, very much so. But whoever they find in the free agency pool, I don't really know. And also, you said the trade market. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Fox in there. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But that's the basketball talk portion of the show. So yeah, let's get into some wrestling real quick. So Saturday night's main event was last Saturday. And why did it take me off the page? So here we go. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Okay, here we go. It was last Saturday in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Interesting place to have Saturday night's main event. At the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. So let's just go by the matches real quick. The opener was a 6-woman tag. You have Jade, Cargill, and Meechin and B-Fab defeating Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. I actually thought this match wasn't bad. It was actually pretty fun. It was a good 6-man opener, or 6-woman opener, I should say. And I thought everybody did a good job. Rhea, to me, has done a good job at making Jade look good. She gave Jade arguably the best match that she's ever had at WrestleMania. And that's kind of that's a testament to how so fucking good Rhea is. But let me ask you something, being that you're, the wrestling historian, the, almost like a walking thesaurus of wrestling. Whenever you see how Rhea works and just little tiny things that she does, and also selling, because I think she's maybe the best woman seller, which kind of sounds weird to say, probably out of anyone. But like, you see how she works. Like, who does she remind you of if you had to pick anyone?
As far as another woman, no one else.
Not woman. I'm just talking about wrestler in general. It could be a man too.
I wouldn't have any idea.
Okay, I just thought it was an interesting question to ask.
Who does? Obviously, she reminds you of somebody. Who does she remind you of?
I mean, I wanted to ask you because you know more than me. You know a lot more than me when it comes to
yeah. That's an interesting question. Yeah, I don't have an answer.
All right, I just thought maybe you had like a name, in your brain from like the 80s and the 90s. I personally don't have one, but like I just see how she works, and like,
yeah, I mean, like I said, she works like her. I don't really see her as, I can't really compare her to anyone else.
But like, I just think she gets it. For someone who's as tall and big as, I mean, she's not as big as she used to be, but she's she's tall, and I guess you can call her a big girl.
Right.
Just off of like size, but like the fact that she's able to sell as good as she is, and just do little things that matter.
Right.
I don't think she gets enough appreciation. I mean, she gets appreciation for just being Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, absolutely. She's super over. Most over woman in wrestling.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. But as far as like work rate, I don't think we give her enough appreciation. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm speaking.
she's great.
No, she's great. She's great. I think every match. I mean, yeah, we had that conversation where we were like, the Mania matches, there was never a story, but the matches themselves ended up being, either good to great.
Yeah.
Which is a fair assessment. But in this case,
As I stated, she's Will Ospreay. Not as far as what they do in like work wise, obviously, right? But as far as like Will Ospreay can have a match with anyone, no story needed or whatever, and just have a great match. And it's one of the best matches of the fucking whatever show. The exception of Double or Nothing for some weird reason. It was a great match, but like it wasn't one of the best matches. But yeah, no, I also think too as well that Rhea Ripley's kind of the same thing as well. She has a lot of non-stories, then she has great matches.
Agreed. But overall, what do you think about the opener? The six.
I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was anything groundbreaking. Jade Cargill pinning Rhea Ripley was the right decision before they do the rematch, before Jade loses to Rhea Ripley. So at least make Jade look strong until this weekend and have her lose.
All right. Basically, a big chunk of these matches we're just going to see this weekend. Because the next is you had Sol Ruka versus Becky Lynch, which was only 2.5 minutes, and then ended in DQ, and then come to find out we're going to get the rematch this Sunday.
Right.
So there really isn't much to go off with this match, other than the fact that Becky beat the shit out of Sol, and that's about it. There's really not much to go off of, unless there's something you want to add to it.
I mean, they're making Sol Ruka look like a fucking moron so far on the main roster, but whatever. What has she done that made her look good so far?
Well, I meant like give an example.
Botch Soul Snatcher, losing to Becky. I think it was Becky Lynch. Losing to Becky Lynch clean originally. What has she done?
I mean, you're not wrong. Because she even pointed it out, I think on social media, where she's like, all the Soul Snatchers I did on NXT, they all went off without a hitch, but I get on the main roster and I'm botched.
Yeah, it's like, and we know she can do it. It's fine, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like Sabu. Sabu, a lot of people know, oh, Sabu's a botcher, right? No, all the matches that Sabu's done, like pretty much like on major pay-per-view events, end up being botches, but like a lot of his TV shit wasn't botches. And so he botched way less than what people made out to be. Sol Ruka botches way less than what people are currently making out to be right now, because the people who don't watch NXT for some fucking weird ass reason, it's like, oh, this is the girl y'all talking about. She botches all the time. No, she doesn't. It just happens when she gets to the main roster. It's like now I don't know if she's nervous. I don't know if she's whatever, but she wasn't doing this in NXT.
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, I think she'll be fine. I do think it's maybe nervousness, but it's like it's been a few months already, so she needs to kind of find a way to center herself and get past it, because this is the big leagues, and they're obviously going to want to make her into a star. Because they did it for everybody else. They're doing it for Trick. They're doing it for Oba. They're kind of cooling off Javon a little bit, but I think he'll be fine because he's still young. But anyways, then you had Penta versus Ethan Page for the Intercontinental Championship. I was thinking this would have been the main event of the show, but it was in the middle of the show, and it was kind of very telling as to what was going to happen. I wanted Ethan to win because I looked at it as like Penta's over. He's still over regardless, so I think he'll be fine. But they want to make Penta. They want Penta to make that title mean something. So cool. I mean, I like the match. The match was good. It wasn't great. It was good. And I do like how they're treating Ethan on the main roster. They're making him seem like something important, not necessarily a world champion, not like Trick Williams or Obafemi style of push, but they're making him seem like he's the guy that's going to work with the other guy that makes the most money. So, but what'd you think?
That was a great match. Just what if you say this one, the main event was your match of the night? I'm not gonna really, argue with you on this one. I'm still undecided why I thought was match of the night, but I mean it's either or between this and the main event. But Ethan's great. I mean, we knew this for forever now. Penta's fantastic as well. Penta winning is the right decision. And I don't think Ethan Page is done in his current status in WWE. I think he only goes up from here. I mean, not world title, obviously, but I think he goes up from here as far as being relevant in WWE, and he shows that he can pull in a great match. So,
I just realized we didn't get a chance to do wrestler of the week. I'm just gonna put it out there. My wrestler of the week is Penta.
Okay.
I think he's had a great week. He had a really good match. He had a really good showing at Saturday Night's Main Event. An even better showing on Monday. Just not to skip ahead, but with Javon, I thought that was a very, very good match. Penta, he got that WWE machine behind him, and they're making him look like a star.
Yep.
And it looks like they're kind of positioning him. Well, not even kind of. They're positioning him to take over Ray's spot as the mass luchador of WWE. So I think it's working because it helps that he's jacked. He looks like a badass. I think he's like, what is he, like early 40s?
Penta, I think he's late 30s, I want to say.
Let me look at it real quick. Oh, he's 41 actually.
Okay, never mind.
He's been around for a while. So, but I mean, doesn't look it. I mean, his work rate doesn't show it. But yeah, I'm happy for Penta. I love me some Penta. I've been a fan of Penta for a while, actually. This is pre-WWE. I liked his stuff in TNA. For when I saw in Lucha Underground, I enjoyed it just as much. And I'm happy for him in WWE. I'm happy that he's a star. I'm happy that he's selling merch. And hopefully eventually we can pair him with Ray, because Ray is... Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you have a wrestler of the week?
I do. I didn't watch live because obviously the Spurs game was Sunday, but I did watch Double or Nothing on Memorial Day, and my wrestler of the week is from that show. I got Konosuke Takeshita. Him and Okada had a fucking knockout, drag-out match, one of the best matches of the year so far. And with the solidification of Takeshita turning babyface, was the right decision because he is definitely one of those guys that has been heel for a while, but people really like. I'm sorry, but Okada, he's definitely one of the GOATs as well. And he proved that in the ring with Takeshita, and I mean, and with the heel turn, well, not the heel turn. I mean, he was already heel. Kyle Fletcher returning and kicking Takeshita out of the Callis family was the cherry on top of it all. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Konosuke Takeshita as wrestler of the week.
Nice. To continue with this show, you had tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Paige and Brie Bella versus the Irresistible Forces, and they won. Which I don't know. I was kind of thinking they were going to lose, and then Paige turns on Brie. So I really got nothing for this match. I don't care about these women's tag team titles. Paige, when she had her big moment at Mania, returning, and I don't know. It's just one of those things. I'm just waiting for her to turn on the Bellas and just kind of do.
How much longer is Nikki out?
I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't heard anything. I'm assuming when she comes back, she's gonna take the spot from Paige and be like, "Oh, thanks, Paige. Yeah, I'll take my title." And then Paige turns on both of them. I don't fucking know. But unfortunately, anything Bella related is not my favorite part of the show. But what'd you think?
That was a fine match. It wasn't like an F grade or anything like that. It wasn't even a D grade. I think it was like a like a C, 7 out of 10 match. You know what I mean? But it 7 out of 10 makes it seem like it's very high, but it's just it's really not. It's just a passing grade. But I think it was fine. It wasn't anything groundbreaking, or I mean, I'm not gonna remember this match in 2 weeks from now. But I thought from what they did on Saturday night, I thought it was fine.
Okay. And then the main event was for the World Tag Team Championships. You had the Vision, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory versus the Street Profits. I thought this was a really good main event. I thought the tag match was very, very entertaining. I'm happy to see the Street Profits back, more so Montez. I'm just going to say it right off the bat. I really think they should just make Montez a star. Make him a singles guy.
I think they may be going down that route from what it feels like, but I don't agree with it. I don't think they should. I don't think he should be a single superstar at this point.
I think
we've been through this conversation before. What do you do with them? Do you trust First of all, do you trust Triple H to even put him in a situation for him to be successful?
Probably not.
Then why will we want to? Why do we want him to be a single star then if we already know the outcome?
It's just like, what else do you do with the Street Profits at this point?
What you got a tag division,
right? But like, they've been around for a while.
So you break up the Street Profits and Logan Paul's injured. What are we doing with the tag team belts?
Well, I also think that's kind of the big, thing is just like, now that Logan Paul is out, which we're skipping ahead. Logan Paul suffered an injury, and he's going to be out for some time. So that's number one. So I also think
let's just say Logan Paul was not hurt. Let's just say that he's healthy. What would you do with the tag team division outside if we break up the Street Profits?
To be honest, I don't have an answer because the tag team division's always been irrelevant.
Right. So, but we can't just like, I want Montez. I want to see Montez as a single star. Break up Street. You have to have like a strategy of like, okay, well, maybe Angelo could be with this guy, and like it. We lost way too many tag teams, and I think that the Street Profits are better where they're at right now. Can Montez be a single star? Yeah, sure, but it has to be the right time. It's not the right time right now. It was the right time maybe about a year and a half ago. Right now ain't the right time. It's not even close to being the right time right now.
So you do agree eventually they're going to need to make him a single star?
It has to be the right time.
Well, no, that's what I meant. Eventually.
Well, the right time could be 5 years from now. You know what I mean? It has to be the right time. Like, you can't just break them up just to break them up.
No, I agree. I'm not just saying like on Raw, Montez tells Angela, go fuck yourself, and then, doozes him out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like eventually it's just like, I don't know. Like I look at Montez. This might be a little bit of a hot take, but not really. I look at him and I would have easily plugged and played him in Jey Uso's spot when they were trying to make him a main event. That's just how I feel. And I'll explain. Let me explain. Montez doesn't get gassed out. He's clearly more athletic. He's in better shape, and he's more charismatic.
Does he have that connection with the audience that Jey Uso does?
He could. If you put him in that spot, he could.
Do you think that?
Also, let me add something else.
So would you? So you'll obviously he'll be like a baby face, right?
Yeah.
I just don't. I agree with you what you're saying as far as him being better shape and all that. Like, but this is not what WWE looks at apparently.
Right. Yeah, I know.
It's not what WWE looks at apparently.
I also think with Jay,
he's not gonna be the guy that you're gonna. I'll put it to you this way. Let me ask you this question: Gunther versus Montez Ford at WrestleMania versus Gunther and Jey Uso at WrestleMania, right? So obviously Jey Uso won, right? Mm-hmm. Would the reaction in the crowd been as apparent and loud if Montez Ford won?
Let me add to that with this. With Jey Uso, he had the advantage because he had been in.
I'm not talking about advantages. I'm just talking about the reaction.
It goes with what I'm about to answer.
Okay. With
Montez Ford, everything means something a lot more when there's a story behind it.
True. Okay. Yeah.
So with Montez Ford, if they've given him, I'm not saying, throw Montez Ford in the championship, picture tomorrow. I'm just saying, like, with better pushing, with better creative, with a better directive, it would have meant a lot more.
Jey Uso didn't get better creative, or it has to be the same way. It has to be equal. So in this particular situation, if it was like that same particular story, I think the reaction would have been not as big, in my opinion.
Well, also because, like I said, Jey Uso had the advantage of being in the bloodline for years.
Oh.
And he, doing the stuff with Roman, doing the stuff with Jimmy, like, he had that advantage. And then the problem with well, no, but to me, the problem with Jey Uso was that the Yeet stuff, it felt to me like I'm a big movie guy. You already know that.
Right.
Like, I've been noticing an influx of short horror films becoming feature-length films.
By the way, completely off topic. Saw Obsession, fucking awesome, amazing. So one of the best horror movies of the last like 10, 15 years, I think.
It's going to be in my top 3 by the end of the year as far as movies goes. But anyway,
yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, go ahead.
Like, there was another movie I saw, and I think we talked about it. It was what was that podcast horror movie? We talked about it a little bit.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter because I think Obsession's it's just that much.
Oh, no, Obsession's much better. Actually, I have a better example. The most recent one, it was a Passenger, which was bad, by the way. To me, that's an example of a short horror film that should have just stayed a short horror film.
I understand.
A feature-length film. That's kind of what Jey Uso reminds me of, was that the Yeet stuff worked because it was in the mid-card. It was a small dose thing. When they decided to put a big spotlight on it, it exposed a lot of his insecurities, a lot of his weaknesses, in my opinion.
Right.
I mean, granted,
I just don't see Montez having that type of push as far as merchandise, catchphrase, having something to do. That all matters. That all matters when it comes to like I still get. I had a kid today that came into my shop. They ended up getting actually got a Jey Uso t-shirt, right? But they're doing the Yeet. They're doing the Yeet. Like, I don't think that really, I just don't really see WWE putting the rocket on Montez Ford to where that he can have that much of everything going on, right? Is Montez better than Jey Uso in the ring? Yes. Is Montez Ford as charismatic as Jey Uso? Yes. Is Montez Ford in better shape than Jey Uso? Yes. But a lot of people are better than Jey Uso in a lot of stuff, but they're not in that position either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Jey Uso's in that position because he's in Hawaii. Like, he has tenure, way more tenure than Montez Ford, and plus he was part of one of the best storylines in the history of professional wrestling. Yeah. And the fans are going to be invested in him. Casual, very, 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 very casual fans are going to be invested in him no matter what. The kids, like me, people like me and you, we're gonna be like, oh yeah, fuck the Yeet stuff, right? But the person that just all he watches is WWE, he doesn't watch AEW or TNA or AAA. Like, they don't give a fuck. They think Jey Uso is like one of the top stars in the history of professional wrestling, possibly, which is not true, but
right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like that's his audience and that's his demographic.
Yeah,
because
the people who are buying the t-shirts and going to these shows, those are people who love Jey Uso.
Yeah, those are the people who love Jey Uso.
And they're the people that matter the most to WWE, not me and you.
Right, and it's unfortunate, but like at the end of the day, like who you just said who goes into your shop and buys toys and buys shirts and buys, well, I don't know. Do kids buy trading cards?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put it to you this way, Jay. There's a tier. There's a tier of when it comes to like in my shop, as far as like people who I'm just sold out of. I don't have nothing of.
Right.
And this is just overall between both companies. Penta, Danhausen. Well, Danhausen was already popular, but he's like even like white hot.
He's on fucking first take.
It was hard for me to have Danhausen stuff when he was in AEW. Now he's in WWE. Forget about it. Like, I don't have shit for Danhausen. Danhausen, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, John Moxley. I'm trying to think of also AEW. Swerve, Will Ospreay. All those guys there that I named there, I don't have a lot of in my shop because they are that popular to that particular fans and that audience. So, to me, like Jey Uso, like I agree. Like in retrospect, I agree with you what you're saying about Montez Ford. I agree with you. I just don't see WWE trying to push him to that level. I may be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't really see him pushing him to that level. Maybe Intercontinental Champion, United States Champion. I think that's perfect for him, but I just don't see WWE push him up to that level. I just don't see it.
Yeah, and this is just one of those instances where I'm being old man that yells at club. Thinking of how I would book things as opposed to how the company would book things. So, it's just how I feel. But that was Saturday night's main event. Or I mean, obviously the Division 1. Again, the main event was good. It was very entertaining. It was a very
good main event, yeah.
Wasn't really a fan of the aftermath where Braun Breaker had to come in and spear people for I guess I shouldn't say no reason, but it's like to me that wasn't needed. But I guess I get why, because it's the Division.
I don't know if they're going to do a beatdown at the very end and they had to get Braun Breaker out there because Logan Paul got injured or something. But I don't know. I don't know if they had to do something on the fly.
But that was Raw. I mean, not Raw. That was Saturday night's main event. Yeah, Logan Paul will be out for some time, but Braun Breaker's still part of the Division. And it looks like what's his name? Bronson looks jacked. He put up a recent picture of himself in the cover. Yeah. He looks jacked. So can't wait to see Bronson back. But Double or Nothing happened on Sunday.
But overall, I thought that Saturday's main event I thought was surprisingly good. A lot of wrestling, not a lot of commercials. I thought it was a good show. That's the direction that they need to go in. But I get that being on Peacock for advertisement versus ESPN. I know there's gonna be more advertising on ESPN versus Peacock, so expect commercials coming up for this pay-per-view.
Yeah, the commercials compared to Peacock, it's like night and day.
Right.
I know Bill Apter he almost seemed like he was broken down because of how many advertisements we were getting on Raw.
Right.
Yeah. So Double or Nothing. Ruben actually went to Double or Nothing. He was actually in attendance. Yeah, he was actually in attendance. Yeah. He's a New Yorker.
Absolutely.
New Yorker. And the show was in Queens, New York, which is the hometown of our fallen comrade Kevin Castle. Louis Armstrong Stadium, May 24, 2026. Justin, you said you didn't watch it live, but you watched it.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it on Memorial Day.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. Like I've heard, and like usually with the AEW shows, you kind of take it with a grain of salt because AEW fans love everything. But even like the people that kind of like you who like AEW but are so critical of it, it sounds like you liked it a lot.
I will say that from top to bottom, this is one of the best AEW pay-per-views of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Top 3, top 5, maybe. As far as all the in-ring stuff, like as far as pure pro wrestling. No blood on the show. I mean, there's a little bit of blood, but because the New York State Athletic Commission, they didn't allow blood or blood in the crowds.
I heard about that. Yeah.
So no blood whatsoever. But I thought this show was very, very good. Now, this show was great. One of the best shows of all time from AEW. Great show. Fantastic pro wrestling. Felt good after watching it, right? What are we going to be doing on Dynamite tonight? I haven't really seen anything much yet, but I do expect a not good Dynamite. But that's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. So I hope I'm wrong because AEW they're in a position to kind of capitalize on this momentum and the lack of momentum from for the lack of momentum that WWE's on right now. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I don't really expect much out of this show or out of AEW for Dynamite.
In your opinion, what do you think made Double or Nothing work the way it did?
Just the overall match quality itself. Takeshi and Okada was really fucking amazing. It was only, I think it was like only like a 20-minute match. Cope and Christian, they had a great, fucking I Quit match, and they won their tag team titles, right? For the first time in, 2 decades, over 2 decades. And, FTR, made him look very good as well, right? The story with Will Ospreay and, him downing himself. I mean, that great story. Swerve and fucking Bandito put on a fucking, like, holy fucking shit. Bandito, in ring is possibly the best luchador in wrestling right now. Maybe like between him and Penta. And even the Sting Stampede match was like, even though they couldn't like really brawl in the crowd and like this has been done to death or whatever, even that match was like, very entertaining. And MJF and Darby Allin, they just put on a great match. You didn't know for sure if MJF was going to win or not and lose his hair, but even though 9 times out of 10 we knew MJF was going to win, but there was a little bit of doubt in there. And I just really thought this show was fun. That's the best way to explain it. This show was fun.
Yeah, like I mentioned, that's what I kept hearing. Even people that still like AEW, but they're like JD from New York. Like he's been openly, critical of AEW, but he's still a fan. And he even said it's probably the best pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah, I will say if this is not in your top 3 pay-per-views of the year, I mean, what are we doing? Why are we watching wrestling at this point? Like, it's so far, this is the litmus test for other pay-per-views to live up to. You know what I mean? This doesn't mean that AEW is going to win, promotion of the year or Tony Khan wins book of the year. It doesn't mean any of that. But as far as pay-per-views, as far as top to bottom, this is so far it. So far it. And depending what happens this weekend with because Clash in Italy looks pretty good. Then you also got AAA, which I'm looking forward to that the most.
Mm-hmm.
AAA, I'm really looking forward to AAA this weekend. Like super looking forward to that. Obviously because of the main event, but just obviously for what the show is gonna be. I'll be looking forward to that too as well. So
I mean, I now I kind of want to check out some of Double or Nothing, just some of it, because there's some matches that kind of interest me. I like Takeshita. And everyone's pretty much just said his match was a match of the year candidate.
Yeah, so, I will put it up there. I don't know if that will end up being my match of the year, to be honest, but I mean, it's definitely like, oh yeah, that fucking match was great. Yeah, that could be match of the year.
So I want to check that out. I like Bandito. I don't love Bandito. I like Bandito.
Right.
I like Swerve too, even though he tends to say some pretty weird things, but usually any match with him, I usually try to go out of my way to watch. And of course, I like MJF and Darby. I feel the same way about him that I feel about Swerve, where it's just like, I like you, but you do and say some weird shit. So I think if anything, I'll just want to check out those matches.
Yeah.
And also the Edge and Christian. I won't call him Edge and Christian. I'll give a fuck. But the Edge and Christian match, just to for nostalgia's sake. So I'll definitely want to check those matches out, just to kind of add to my repertoire of wrestling matches that I've seen this year. So yeah, if you had to give an overall grade to Double or Nothing, what would you give it?
9 out of 10.
That's high praise. All right. So let's talk about some Raw real quick. So again, Raw was mainly just to set up this weekend. I thought they did okay because you had just kind of backtrack last week. So last week, Brock Lesnar returned after he was supposedly retired. took out Oba, and yeah, they're gonna wrestle this week at Clash in Italy. And I don't know, like I'm a little in between about it because I thought that moment with Brock leaving or retiring, leaving his boots in the ring, I thought that was a cool moment, and you saw real human emotion from Brock. So, like, how do you feel about Brock coming back after he was? I mean, actually, let me backtrack because I'm remembering something you said where you said you don't think Brock is all the way retired because SummerSlam's in SummerSlam's in Minneapolis.
I mean, why doesn't anyone listen to me?
I listen to you.
No, I'm just saying, like, I get people in the shop, they're like, "Oh, Brock's retired." I'm like, stop it. This is like, don't be a fucking mark right now, all right? Like, Jesus,
Right.
like, just listen to me, and you'll be fine. Jesus Christ,
that needs to be a shirt. You need to make that to a shirt. But yeah, he's back and he's gonna wrestle Oba, Clash in Italy, which I don't hate it. I'm fine with it. I mean, because
I don't know why he did this. They're doing this shit ass backwards. Because remember what I said for WrestleMania, and I thought Oba winning was the right decision. But I said, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if WWE puts over Brock Lesnar because they want Oba to struggle. They're doing it ass backwards because they made Oba beat Brock. Then this event for Clash of Italy, guess what? Brock's gonna win. Brock's gonna win. Brock's gonna win. Why would you bring him back?
True.
Why would you bring him back to lose? Because you know what the final match is gonna be. It's gonna be a SummerSlam, Minneapolis. Get the last payday. Sell the house. Now I don't know. I don't think that this match here that we're gonna see in Italy is gonna be as good as that we've seen in WrestleMania because they're probably gonna do the same exact match. Then if they do something at SummerSlam, it has to be something bigger than just a regular match. I don't really want to see like a street fight or a no holds barred or a lights out, unsanctioned match. It's the same shit. Just give us something. Give us maybe a steel cage match. Maybe Hell in a Cell. Maybe give us something different.
Last man standing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm just throwing it out there.
That's boring. How many last man standing matches have we seen in the last year to 2 years?
I can't really think of any, to be honest.
You can't.
I've seen a lot. I like you just said, like street fight, no holds barred. Those like they're all the same.
It's all the same shit. I mean, last man standing is a little bit different, but like put him in a cage. Put him in, give us something, right? Like give us something, that actually like, oh shit, where there's actual stakes. Like I don't want to see kendo sticks and chairs and whatever. Just
I don't want to see Brock Lesnar hold a kendo stick like ever. Like because Brock's already a big motherfucker. All he needs is his hands.
Right.
He just needs these. Same thing with Oba. Oba's already a walking weapon. They don't need weapons. That's a hat on a hat. So I'd be fine with just a steel cage, Hell in a Cell. That kind of makes more sense. The Beast and the Conqueror in a cage because this whole building can't contain both of these behemoths. It kind of sells itself. But what do I know? But yeah, Oba came out and confronted Paul, where he said, I'm just paraphrasing, or maybe the actual quote is here. Where he says, at WrestleMania, I was fighting to beat him. Sunday, I'm fighting to kill him. So that was the promo. Again, good promo. Sets up the match well. And we haven't talked about Clash of Italy just yet. I do think Brock is going to win, and the rubber match will be the retirement match at SummerSlam. Kind of makes more sense. So you have Intercontinental Championship. You have Penta versus Javon Evans. I really enjoy this match. Hell of a match. Penta, again, he was my wrestler of the week for a reason. Javon Evans is just uber talented. I mentioned earlier, I think they're kind of cooling off on him, but I think in his case he'll be fine. He's young. He kind of has a career ahead of him. Well, not kind of. He has a huge career ahead of him. So, and the crowds like him. So he'll do fine. More so with Trick and Oba, they're the ones that I think have more of the eyes and the attention on them for a reason, because they have a certain look to them. Whereas Javon is the high flyer that, is going to sell merch and people are going to love the moves he does. So I think with him he'll be fine in the long run. But in this case, I thought this match was very, very good. I'm kind of like, why wasn't this a PLE match? Like, this would have been great on a PLE.
Right.
I know. I don't know if you said it. I know I said it, but like, I would have liked if this was the Mania match and not the ladder match. I mean, the ladder match was still fun.
Well, I mean, at this point, I regress on that, because I thought the ladder match was basically a 5-star match. So,
all right. And then Javon, other than Penta, I thought was the best, like the MVP of that match, pretty much. And
JD McDonough, I mean, he was really good in there too. I mean,
yeah. I mean, but overall, I think this is if we're talking about TV matches, this might have been one of the better ones, if not the best TV match of the year so far.
Okay.
Well, that's why I preface on saying TV match and not match.
Well, I disagree with that, but it's a very good match, but I wouldn't say it's the best TV match of the year.
But then afterwards, Javon was upset by his loss, and then goes to the back, and Penta confronts him, like, what's up? And Javon's is like, I'm sorry, I was just upset that I lost, but I'm coming back for that title. And then fist bumps him. And then Penta meets up with Rey Mysterio, who's now the GM of AAA.
Yep.
Good for Rey, who, again, just, I don't know what he's taking, but he looks like he's in great shape every time we see him. Because I guess I'm skipping ahead a little bit with Raw, because he came back later in the night and he's back to wearing baggy pants and no shirt. Because he worked a match with Rusev, who, let me backtrack again. Penta wants a match with Rey for the defending his Intercontinental Championship, and then Adam Pearce wants to make it happen. Ethan Page catches wind of it, and is like, "What about my rematch?" And Pearce is like, "Well, you had a match already. You got to work for it." And then Rusev pops in, and I like the pairing of Ethan Page and Rusev. I like those two together because it's Ethan Page is obviously the entertainer. He's the workhorse of the group, and Rusev is the cleanup guy. And Rusev, he's funny without trying to be funny, because he's so serious. He's the ass kicker, but every now and then he'll say things where everybody else has a reaction. I'm like, what the hell did he say? Because he said something to Rey, and Adam Pearce is like, I don't know what the hell that means. So Adam Pearce and Rey, or I'm sorry, Rusev and Rey have a number one contenders match for the Intercontinental Championship. I thought it was fine. Wasn't anything great, but I thought it was fine. I mean, they're obviously pushing Rey and Penta, which is the match to go, because it's the passing of the torch. Because I think Rey, is going to be winding down pretty soon. I mean, to be honest, he's kind of doing that lately, but it looks like he wants to wind down pretty soon and just work backstage. He's doing that with AAA. And so that's the match to go. Secretly, I would have wanted Rusev to win, but I totally understand. I'm not complaining. But they had a pretty good match with Rey winning. And that's kind of the takeaway. And it's also one of those things of just like, I'm happy to see Rusev in a meaningful spot on the show. And again, it looks like they're pairing up with Ethan Page. So I'm fine with that. But how'd you feel about the Intercontinental Championship match and Rey's match?
No, everything that you said, I mean, was pretty much spot on. I thought the match itself was an excellent match. I mean, but I wouldn't say, to me personally, I wouldn't say that would be like a match of the year for the TV so far. But not taking away from it, I thought it was a very good match though. But also too as well, with Ray being involved now, it's the right thing to do. Having like someone passing the torch, I think WWE's finally comfortable of saying that Penta is going to be the new Rey Mysterio at 41 years of age. Um, but but it took him a long time because they're like, oh, maybe it's Kalisto, maybe it's Sin Cara, maybe it's
Dragon.
Dragon Lee. You know what I mean? Like, they've been looking for years and years and years and years, and they finally found him in Penta. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but I thought it was very good. This whole segment and the match.
All right. Like I mentioned earlier, Logan Paul's gonna be out for some time. Austin Theory. It was kind of a weird segment because Austin Theory goes up to Paul Heyman and gives him the tag title. He's like, Logan's hurt. I don't know what to do with this. And then Paul's like, you still have a member of the Vision in the group that can be your partner. So I just thought that was kind of stupid where Austin Theory forgot about Braun Breaker. Basically, he told, Austin Theory, like, pretty much avenge Logan Paul. Go after anyone that fucked with him. So later in the night, Joe Hendry has a
What's
concert.
going on with Austin Theory and Maxine?
I mean, that's an interesting pairing. Like with Maxine, I mean, they tried to give her a singles push, and it worked. It worked as well as it did, but it didn't last long for a reason. But looks like they want to pair her with Austin Theory. Maybe put her in the Vision. Maybe Austin Theory breaks free from the Vision.
It's not believable, though.
What do you mean?
It's not believable. Maxine ain't dating Austin Theory.
Well, no, I know she's married to some guy in NXT. I know.
Yes, it's not. I mean, Rhea and Dom wasn't, but the reason why that pairing works so well is because of they did like the segments out of the ring, like for like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you know what I mean, and they involved Aaliyah originally and all that stuff. Like it worked. This is just as like it's like
random.
Yeah. Maxine is that Maxine in the car with Austin Theory as he leave? Like, So I don't know.
It's like, hey, this is a good looking guy. This is a good looking girl. Let's put them together.
Yeah.
Reasons.
It could work. I'm not saying it can't work, but at the same time, it's like effort. Give me some effort with this.
Right. Yeah. Austin Theory came out and just beat the shit out of Joe Hendry with a chair. And then came out later that night after Seth Rollins and Montez's match and did the same thing to Angelo Dawkins, but we'll get to that. You had Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus Raquel and Roxanne. Match was fine. Can't really say too much about it. It's good to see Bayley. That's kind of the best way to put it. Then you had LA Knight returning, who, again, it's one of those things of like, LA Knight's still over, but it doesn't matter because they're not going to push him.
I mean, you can be only over so much, and it doesn't fucking matter.
But I like LA Knight.
It really doesn't matter if you're over or not in WWE. It's like WWE, it's the thing that Vince McMahon used to say, you don't like what you like.
Yeah, no, exactly. LA Knight announced that he's going to be in the King of the Ring tournament, and he wants to go after LA Knight. LA Knight wants to go after LA Knight. No, he wants to go after Roman Reigns, and Jimmy comes out because Jay is not there for some reason, and pretty much just tells LA Knight, "Listen, I like you, but don't talk about the Tribal Chief." And then that's really about it. So. It's one of those things of like, glass half full, LA Knight's in the title picture, but is it going to end the way we want it to? No.
I mean, he's not going to win.
No. He's not.
Why should I care?
Wash
he
and
ain't going to win.
It's like rinse and repeat. Then you have Montez Ford versus Seth Rollins after they had a argument earlier where, people still don't trust Seth. Montez being one of them. So then Montez is like, let's have a match later. So they have a match. I thought it was good. That was a really entertaining match between both. I think they match up pretty well.
Summer Styles.
It kind of went the way you thought it would because they went out of their way to make. Well, I'll not. When I say they, Seth went out of his way to make Montez look good, and there's a lot of hate for Seth, and I think deservedly so. But I do think Seth, whether you like him or not, he's always ready to go.
He's one of the best wrestlers in that company. I think he's one of the best wrestlers, and also at the same time, he's definitely one of the most underappreciated wrestlers in that company too. At the same time.
Right. If you don't like his style, if you don't like his look, if you don't like his promos, I get that. But at the end of the day, Seth Rollins has a lot of the better matches on the show. You can plug and play Seth Rollins in any company. You can put him in AEW and he'll do fine. You could put him in
a top guy. He could be a top guy in AEW. He could be a top guy in WWE.
New Japan. You can do that. So, but
with the right New Japan's very faction heavy,
right?
But you put the right people around him, for sure.
Right. Like I've given my criticisms about Seth Rollins, but like at the end of the day, I'd be an idiot if I didn't say he wasn't good,
right?
Or if I'd be an idiot if I said he wasn't good. Like he has a lot of the better matches on the show, if not the best matches on the show.
Right.
So, but he made Montez look like something. Seth winning made sense. And then, like I mentioned afterwards, you had, what's his name? You had Austin Theory do a concerto to Angela. So, and then afterwards, Seth and Montez were like, "Hey, I know we said we can't trust each other. Right. Let's work together just this once. This one." We talked about Mysterio and Rusev, and then the tribal contract signing between Jacob Fatu and Roman. Setting up this Sunday, really wasn't a lot to it. Mainly just setting up the pay-per-view, which
it was ass.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't care about this.
I don't really care about this feud either.
I'm gonna take it one step further. I don't care about anything Roman Reigns related.
Yeah, but it's not really his fault either.
I don't want to say it's his fault. It's just, I said this with Ruben. I want to get your opinion on it. I don't understand the Roman Reigns character anymore. Because he's a heel-ish, but he wants to be liked by everybody. But then he acts like a fucking dick to everyone. He treats his family like shit.
So let me get this straight. You just don't know Roman Reigns' character?
It's just like he treats everybody like shit. He treats all his friends and family like shit.
Yeah,
he's abusive.
That is his character.
But then he tells everyone, "Hey, acknowledge me."
He's been doing that for 6 years.
But it made more sense with the bloodline. Now it's just like, what are we doing anymore? Like, I don't know, the Roman Reigns stuff. The stuff during Mania was somewhat salvageable because you had.
Are you saying that because he's supposed to be a baby face? I mean, he's really not a baby face, but
he's not.
Are you saying that in theory he's supposed to be a baby? Like, I'm not. I guess I'm not understanding.
I just don't get what he's supposed to be because people cheer him, but he's a fucking dick.
He's an ego. He's an egomaniac that needs to be liked by everybody.
And it's weird because like people always say that Cody Rhodes is Homelander, and I'm like, I think
that's what I'm saying. He's basically Homelander.
Yeah, he's more Homelander than Cody. Cody's too clean cut. I mean, Cody can be down and dirty when he wants to be.
I mean, he obviously we know why Cody gets the Homelander references, but like actual character wise, yeah, he's basically Homelander in that sense.
Yeah, he's way more Homelander, like way too much like Homelander.
Right.
But it's just.
So I guess I'm confused. You say you don't know his character. We just figure it out.
It's just, to me, like, it's one of those things of like, I see what they're doing and it just doesn't make any sense. Now it doesn't make sense. And I don't know. Like, the Roman Reigns stuff doesn't interest me anymore because we already know Jacob's not winning.
Right.
And they're kind of making me not care about Jacob anymore.
So let's take this and let's advance it. what's your solution to all
To what?
this? To
To
all
what?
to the world title situation on Raw.
I would have just kept it on Punk.
Kept it on Punk.
I would have kept it on Punk because I thought that would have been better. With Roman, it just seems like
Okay, so you kept it on Punk, but I think they wanted to get Punk time off, and he
I get
wanted
that.
time off.
Yeah, but like I don't know, because like the stuff with Roman's just not interesting. Because it just seems like they're going back to the well, and it's not as interesting. It's not as interesting as it was back then.
What do you think the end game for all this is? You think?
I think it's going to end with Jay usurping himself into the throne and being the new tribal chief.
Okay,
which
true.
That's not going to be that's not going to be that good either. But
yeah, no, true.
That kind of seems like where they're going.
I do not want to see that, but I can tell you that possibly if they do it the right way, TV could be good for at least a few weeks out of it at least, and it'll be interesting. But to me though, I mean, I just again look like you're talking about the whole Roman thing. Look, what's the core issue here? What's the core issue with everything going on here in WWE?
Creative.
Bingo. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's what character is what. If creative can't get us to be invested into what the fuck they're doing, you cannot make any of this shit make sense and make us be invested. Period.
Well, here's the thing. With the bloodline stuff, what made Roman salvageable was everybody around him. Because, like, you had Sammy as the honorary Uso. Like, Sammy
it enhanced it, but we're not going to say that Roman wasn't doing great shit either.
Well, it's just my opinion. Like, he had Sammy to almost kind of humanize him somewhat. And then he had Jay there to really bring out the drama. You had Paul Heyman there.
But, okay, so you're saying Roman wasn't... I don't want to say that you think he was like a weak link of the group. But no. You're saying that they enhanced Roman in the bloodline, but did Roman enhance anyone else?
I mean, he obviously enhanced Jay. I mean, regardless of how I feel about Jay, he enhanced Jay.
He enhanced Sammy.
He enhanced Sammy because, Sammy got over.
He enhanced Solo. He enhanced Solo. Yes, he did.
Okay.
When he's giving orders to Solo and like Solo has to be there being like this, like before he started to talk, right? Like where's the mystery to Solo Sikoa? He enhanced Solo.
Okay. I mean, granted, that was the last time Solo was interesting when he was with the Bloodline. And then obviously they had that feud, which we kind of knew where that was going to go. But I just think my biggest problem with Roman on his own, like obviously he can talk. I mean, is he the greatest talker? No, but he can still give out a sentence. But it's just like him being with Punk, that feud with Punk kind of exposed him a little bit because it didn't really sound like whenever Roman was talking, it just felt like he was regurgitating things that people were telling him to say.
So again, I'm going to go back to creative. If Punk and Roman was 3 years ago, 3 years ago in 2023, do we think would this conversation still be the same?
Not as bad as now.
But no, it will be it will be. People will be fucking like the TV would have been immaculate.
Yeah,
it would have been immaculate 3 years ago. Right now, creative is very, very lazy, and they're using AI, and they're Triple H. He doesn't want to put his best foot forward on some of these storylines, even if it is for fucking WrestleMania. It's creative. Creative has the same. Now, yes, it's the talent out there to get it over, right? But if Punk can barely get shit over, if Roman can barely get shit over, it falls back on creative. It just does at the end of the day. Like, for example, like if the Spurs were to start Wemby with 4 bench guys, you got Carl Bryan out there, you got Harrison Barnes, you got whoever else out there, Luke Cornett, and you got Keldon Johnson, right? With Wemby in the starting lineup. What would unless everyone else is healthy, what's gonna be the first thing that someone's gonna say? they're gonna be like, oh damn, what kind of coaching decision was that?
Yeah.
In this case, if you send your main players out there with this particular story and you give them a template and you're not really giving them much with it, it's like, damn. It's looked at, oh man, Punk and Roman, they went out there and shut the bed. It's not, oh, creative sucks. And sometimes it's that too as well, but it should be on creative more than the wrestlers, in my opinion, when it comes to this.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong, because creative, at the end of the day, the key word is creative. Like, that's always going to be the main culprit.
Look, until I see something otherwise, I'm blaming creative completely. Unless Roman's going out there, he's flubbing his lines up, kind of like what Jay did, for a while. Now, you could blame Jay a little bit because he was flubbing his lines up and things of that nature. Roman doesn't really do that for the most part. Punk doesn't really do that for the most part. They were out there, they were delivering their lines and they're delivering their promos, but the story that they were told to go do was the issue.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like this story here, to your point, I don't give a fuck about it.
Mm-mm.
But I can't really all say, oh yeah, Roman's character is the creative has to give Roman something and give his character something for us to fucking care about.
And also it's just like, Jacob's reason for wanting the title and just also to be the tribal chief is kind of stupid, because his whole reason is, I just want money. I want all that money. I'm like, okay.
I mean, it's a real thing though,
No, I get you. Like, everybody wants money. I want money. Like, money. Anyone that says money doesn't buy happiness is lying, because money will make our life so much easier. Like, if you and me woke up tomorrow with $1 million in a bank account, we'd be happy as fuck. And make our lives. I wouldn't
tell nobody. I'll tell you that.
No, I wouldn't tell anybody either. Fuck that. I would just keep it to myself and just pay off everything that I own, and that would be stress free. Maybe not stress free, but it'd be a big chunk of stress that's out of my life.
Right.
But anyways, again, like I said, don't care about that section of Raw, but Raw was decent. Well, I mean, the Intercontinental title match was clearly the best part of the show. And at the end of the day, it's the wrestling is not the problem. The wrestling is actually very good. It's just the creative is not very
sounds like another company where the wrestling is very good and creative sucks.
Dare you say? Let me just get this right out of the way. Didn't see NXT. Was watching the Spurs game. NXT to me, it's just been very unwatchable. Like,
I kind of disagree with you on it. Now it's not as good as it was a couple of years ago, but I'm liking a lot of the new stars coming in.
Let me ask you something, because me and Ruben went in depth about this.
Yeah,
Mason Rook. Like, overall, what are your feelings?
Look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Look, and it's I don't know what you're gonna say, but I think the rhetoric around him is way too harsh.
Okay,
it's unnecessary. It's like the worst thing I will say about him. Yes, I think he probably needs to change his attire, right? Attire a little bit, but outside of that, people are like, he's fat, he's a lesbian. Like, come on, like, what are we doing in 2026? Are we gonna hate on every single thing that we see and not give it a fair shot? If we give it a fair shot and he ends up not making it, sure. But like, we're already prejudging this guy before he even really gets going on the main roster. I'm sorry, on NXT. Like, why do we even fucking watch wrestling? Like, I know wrestling is basically based off looks, but fucking we're in 2026. There's guys that look like him on the indies. There's guys that look better than him on the indies. There's guys that look even worse than him on the indies, right? If we're gonna give him shit about how he looks like, how come we're not giving Bronson Reed shit? We never gave Bronson Reed shit about how he looks. Not to the degree of fucking Mason Rook that I'm seeing online.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. But go ahead.
Give me an example. We never ever talked about Bronson Reed's weight or size or anything of that nature in a negative light.
Well, so me and Ruben talked about this last week. Again, I know I talk a lot of shit. I don't like making fun of people's looks. I don't, because I don't exactly look like Brad Pitt. But at the end of the day, I'm also not getting paid.
You're dating yourself with the Brad Pitt, by the way.
I'm sorry?
You're dating yourself with the Brad Pitt, by the way.
I mean, not really. There's other people.
Anyways,
that's
a 90s reference there, or 2000s reference. But
should I have said Clint Eastwood?
Fuck! Holy shit!
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Who's a good-looking actor guy?
Timothy Chalamet.
I'll say Glenn Powell. Fuck it, I'll say Glenn Powell. I'm no Glenn Powell. Anyways,
yeah.
So I'll say this with Mason Rook. This is the nicest thing I'll describe his look. He looks underdeveloped, and what I mean by that is, of course, people are going to make the Kevin Steen comparison. The difference between him and Kevin Steen, I'm going to say Kevin Steen for a reason. When Kevin Steen was a 19-year-old fat, kid with no facial hair,
yeah.
If WWE would have signed him, that would have been a big mistake. When Kevin Steen, years later, got into a little bit better shape and was wearing a T-shirt and had tattoos and had facial hair.
He was still fucking huge, bro.
Yeah, but my point is that's why WWE signed him, because he actually looked like an ass kicker. He was a 19-year-old pudgy kid with no facial hair. That's what they weren't signing him back then.
Okay.
Kevin Owens now is in much better shape, and he still looks like an ass kicker. Bronson Reed, yeah, like I just said earlier, he looks like he's getting jacked, post Reed, in rehab. But he's still even when he was kind of chubby, he still looked like an ass kicker. And also Samoans in general look like ass kickers. This kid Mason Rook, and again, I never want to be the kind of guy who wants to be a dick to people, especially if I don't know, and I don't know this kid. And obviously they see something about him that I don't, because they're putting him in a high spot on the show.
Have you ever seen him do any work or anything like that? So how can you judge someone without even checking out a 30-second clip of some of his highlights on the internet to see why they signed him? Yeah,
I'm just saying, obviously they like him because
I'm asking you a question. How can you judge someone if you've never seen a 30-second clip of what he can do in the ring to see why WWE signed him? Because when they signed him and I saw who he was, and I was like, God, he looks familiar, because I didn't realize with his haircut, with his haircut. And I saw him, I was like, oh shit, okay, that's the bloke from fucking England or whatever, right?
Right.
And this guy's a fucking beast in the ring. You know what I mean? So I see why they signed him. I don't see the issue here on WWE signing young talent that can work in the ring.
No, I mean I agree with you, but it's just what I'm saying is that obviously they see something about him that I don't, and I've never seen him work. I'm just saying, so far I'm not impressed. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not impressed.
So what are you not impressed with?
Do I gotta be superficial about it? I'm just not impressed by the look. And
so you're going again based off just the look and not what he can do wrestling wise.
You said it earlier. He needs to change his attire because it's not very flat.
I agree. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna. Oh yeah, he's just not impressive.
I'm just not impressed. I think eventually, because look, Walter, when he first came in, before he became Gunther, he was tubby, and then he got to the main roster and he lost all that weight.
Did you like Gunther when he very first came in?
Were
you like, oh my god, who the fuck is this guy? Or were you like, oh okay, I'll give this guy a shot?
I was impressed because with him, he at least had a style that I liked, because he was an ass kicker and he was like an old school worker. This kid, yeah, he can do a lot of the stuff for his size. I think is impressive. But again, it's nothing to make me want to watch the show every week.
I agree with that. He's not a guy that I'll be like, oh, I have to watch this guy. But I think that also at the same time as well, like that's the issue with the wrestling community. We want someone to fail,
Right.
if we don't like them. And we're just gonna keep it in our head, like, oh well, I wasn't impressed with him the first time, so I don't care to see him no more, without trying to give him a fair shot.
Right.
And that's the issue. That's the major issue with this community overall. That's number one. But also number two as well, he could fail if he just doesn't get over with the crowd and doesn't get it over with the audience, and he doesn't click, or they don't find something very good for him to do within a several month time frame. Then I think it's like, okay, well, we tried it and now it's not working, right? Then we're coming, but this guy's been he's been here less than a month, and we're already like, oh yeah, well, I'm just not impressed. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it, or I'm just not impressed with him, whatever the case may be. Like, it's like you gotta like let shit develop. Like when Liv Morgan first came into NXT, did we think that she was gonna become the star that she is now? When it's like when Alexa Bliss came in, glitters and bliss, blowing the glitter. Did we think that she would have the longevity that she has had in the WWE? Like, Akira Tozawa, obviously, I mean, that's a different situation, but he's gotten over with the fans in some points. Well, he was a pudgy little guy too, as well. If you look at his old stuff, but he got himself into great shape as well. So I just don't think that like a month in to his run on NXT should define like what he's going to be doing in his career in WWE. I just don't think so. I think he does need to change his attire. That I agree with. But outside of that, the guy can have a hell of a match in the ring. He is almost charismatic. I don't think he really is too charismatic as of yet. But I mean, again, that's what the Performance Center is for, because there's guys that were not charismatic that kind of developed some type of charisma, going into, the main roster or even during NXT as well. So I just think people want them to fail too early, and they just don't want to give it a fair shot. That's just my opinion.
No, agreed. I mean, that's what the IWC does.
I mean, you did that too right now.
So. No, what did I say? I never said
you said he's not impressive. I don't think he's impressive.
I just said he's not. No. I said I'm not impressed. I never said I wanted the guy to lose his job. I'm just saying.
Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
So far, I'm not impressed. But like,
I just don't want people. The thing is, I just don't want people to be like 3, 4, 5 months from now. Oh, Mason Rook. Oh, he's great. Like, stop. No,
I'm always the kind of guy that always says like I want to be proven wrong. If like a few months from now he proves me wrong, I'll come up here and say, you know what, Justin, I was wrong.
Now it could be a few months from now, and it can, like I said, it can be the opposite. But what I'm saying is that like we're so driven in a community that we see failure first before we see success. We don't want the guy to be successful first. Right. We're like, oh, I don't think this guy is gonna work out. Fucking Danhausen. Look what the fuck happened with Danhausen the first night in. And I was like, oh, this is fucking great, whatever. I think Danhausen is gonna be the biggest. Look at this shit. This guy's on fucking ESPN every day, like fucking Rolling Stones covering him. Like he's like the most over guy in fucking wrestling right now, because of the fact that he got himself over. Now it takes some other people longer to get over. Obviously, Danhausen had a fan base already on the Indies and AEW. Mason Rook, he's pretty much coming out from scratch for the most part, right? But I just don't think it's fair to completely write someone off without giving them a fair shake.
No, I agree.
If it's 5 months, 6 months from now, and if he's not living up to expectations, fine. Totally understandable. But a month in, and it's like, oh well, he's not impressive, or I don't think he's gonna do too well. So I just don't think that's the right thing to do.
No. I do. I mean, I agree. It's just like I'm not in no way writing him off. I'm just saying so far, I'm not impressed by what I've seen. That's just kind of what I see. I also told Ruben this is just like I do feel for the guy, because it's like I don't think he's talked about it, but I'm pretty sure he feels it. It's just like, people are kind of taking the easy way out with these jokes and these like,
I mean, it's like it sucks. Like you work hard all your life to get in position here, and and now you're just being told like just these people on social media, man, like they just need a good fucking punch in the face, man. Like a lot of these
Agreed.
people don't really have real friends. All they live is on social media. They post their fucking whatever. They don't get no fucking engagement, so they try to go out there and they try to create engagement by saying these outlandish things. And it's like, well, you don't remember there's certain wrestlers in the past, like you mentioned, like Kevin Owens, like Walter, like there's names going on and on where either they didn't look at like anything and they became something, or they were out of shape and they got into shape. It's like, you gotta just like let shit develop. That's why it's called development.
No, agreed. And going back to Walter, I had said I kind of was attracted to his style a little bit more, but I did agree of like eventually he's going to need to cut down the weight before he goes to the main roster. And he did, and he look where he's at now. So I do think eventually, since they're putting the gas behind him and making him look like something on NXT, I do think that's going to be a thing of like, yeah, you're going to need to cut down the weight. But again, I want to be proven wrong. I never hold it against somebody who's like, hey, they're going to give me this big promotion. What do you think? It's
Right.
like, take it, So like, I never get mad at anybody for taking free money. You know what I mean? So
I mean, and there's a lot of wrestlers too as well in the past that were overweight and got. I mean, look at Mick Foley. He had to be fucking like one of those guys that were, that was super in shape. Guys like Umaga and Viscera and Rikishi and Bam Bam Bigelow and Mark Henry and Dusty Rhodes and Yokozuna. Like it goes Vader. Like,
well, they were ass kickers. Like their style was more like they're brawlers, so I guess it fit. Whereas with this kid, based on what I've seen, his style is he does a lot of the like spots, like a moonsault or whatever.
Vader did a moonsault. He was ass kicker, but he did a moonsault too.
Right. But like with this kid, I call him a kid because he's, I think he's like a few years younger than us. But I think with his style, it is going to do a lot of wear and tear on his body, and he's definitely going to need to lose the weight and maybe change his style up a little bit in the ring. But
so you're saying that he should change from the style that got him signed in the first place?
I'm not saying totally. I'm just saying maybe cut back on it and don't do it as much.
But that's his wow shit. But that's not like his. He doesn't wrestle like a fucking high flyer though.
Right, but with WWE, like people complain about the WWE style. The WWE style is to make sure their careers go on longer than
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, this isn't me saying, hey, the thing that you hired, don't do that. I'm just saying, eventually you're going to need to cut down on it.
Oh, I agree, but also at the same time as well, he got signed for a reason.
Okay.
And they should hone into what makes him unique and special.
Okay.
Like,
all right,
that's it.
Just,
you know what I mean? Did people weren't calling Keith Lee fat?
With Keith Lee is a different reason because
I mean, we got to pick a struggle here. Like we can't just say we can't make one exception for one person and one exception for another person. It's like,
right. With Keith Lee, that's a much different story. But anyways, the rest of NXT, from what I saw, look good, but it's just I don't know. I find I've said this before. It's just like it's developmental. I get it. I do kind of fall into that trap of just like, yeah, some of these guys aren't ready, but it's developmental. So what can I say? But there's guys that showed up, and you can kind of tell eventually they're going to be something. Like when I saw Braun Breaker, I'm like, he's going to be something.
Yeah,
being a Steiner alone. Trick Williams, it kind of took me a little bit of time, but he got himself over, and it's like, okay, he's going to be something. Javon looked like he was going to be something. Oba looked like he was going to be something. So out of this current group of guys that they're bringing in now, I can't really tell you who I think is going to be something. If I'm being perfectly honest. But...
I mean, I know you now. I know I was just pretty passionate about Mason Rook, but um, I'll be a hypocrite to say that that's how I felt about Shiloh Hill. So I got like I don't want the guy to fire anything, but from his work so far, and he's been there way longer than Mason Rook. I'm not really seeing anything as far as on the Shiloh Hill side of things to where I'm like,
Right.
he is going to be a guy to take seriously. He's going to be a guy, that's going to be very a main character on the show, and he's still there. He's there. I mean, and the fans like him. I can say that, but
I think he's gotten himself over more as a character, rather than a wrestler,
right?
Because like you said, like his matches that I've seen, I mean, they're not like terrible.
It's the tooth gimmick. It's all that shit.
Right. I mean, they're not really anything to write home about. Like he's, right. I'll say he's passable in the ring. But yeah, him as a character works more. They're pairing him with Tatum Paxley, and they're kind of like the creepy kids, creepy goth kids. Yeah. But yeah, as far as the rest of the show goes, I know Kalani. Was it Kalani and our girl? Why am I blanking on her? I'm forgetting names nowadays.
Are you talking about Jada Parker?
Jada Park, yeah.
Jada Parker and Layla Diggs?
Yeah. No. Kalani, who's our girl?
Peyton. Rin.
Yeah, there you go. They had a pretty good match.
She's injured too, apparently.
And then I always forget Shayna Baszler, I think, works backstage for NXT.
Okay.
Yeah, the talent's there. The talent's there. I mean, yeah, the women, granted, are much more interesting. And just Tony D'Angelo, him being champion, I think that was just like, here you go for all your hard work. So far, would you say he's maybe like the weakest NXT champion of all time? Or one of them at least.
He's bottom tier currently. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, but it's not. I don't think it's due to the lack of him. I think it's due to the actual state of the main event division.
Right.
Because I mean, there's really no one there. I mean, because you brought all these new guys in, and I know we were talking about Mason Rook, but he's definitely not ready. You know what I mean, to even be in that particular position. But I mean, I definitely think that he is he's up there for sure.
All right. Peyton Royce. That was the name I was blinking on. That's our girl, Peyton Royce. She's great.
Peyton Royce.
Peyton Royce. God damn it! Why am I blanking on names?
Peyton Royce.
The girl with Ren. What's her name?
Kendall Gray.
Kendall Gray. Well, you know what? Because I think her real name's Peyton.
Possibly so. Yeah. Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. They're in AEW right now, or Ring of where the fuck they're doing over there. I don't know. Yeah, they're under the Tony Khan Guantanamo Bay. Guantanamo Bay.
That's not gonna asshole people. Kendall Gray. That's our girl here. Kendall Gray. She's great. But that was anything else you want to add for NXT?
Not really. I mean, I think the main person that can challenge Tony D'Angelo right now is Evil, because I mean, obviously he has the main notoriety, and he's like really the only one that's like legit believable at this point, as far as on that level that can be Tony D'Angelo. So, right. Anything Evil does on TV, it usually kills TV or kills the company. Ask New Japan.
Mr. Io Sky. But yeah, I guess we can move on to this weekend. So you have AAA Noche de los Grandes, which in Spanish is for Night of the Greats, for all of our No Espanol viewers and listeners out there. So it's going to be this Saturday, May the 30th. Well, actually, it says will air May 30th, June 6, 2026.
No, there's going to be 2 nights.
Oh, okay. All right. I was a little.
So there's going to be two different weeks. So, so this first week is going to be live. The other one's going to be recorded after this show, and is going to show on next week.
All right. So night 1 You have the Laredo Kid versus Ray Phoenix for the AAA World Cruiserweight Championship.
That should be a great match. Laredo Kid's turned to a heel. For what it looks like, he's doing very heel-like tendencies at this moment. I would love Ray Phoenix to win. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but I'll right now I will stick with Laredo Kid to retain. But it should be a fantastic match, though. Like, that's one of the matches I'm definitely looking forward to for sure.
Agreed. I'll go with Laredo to retain. Tag team match for the AAA World Tag Team Championships: Pagano and Psycho Clown versus War Raiders, Eric and Ivan.
I got the Warriors.
I go with the War Raiders as well. Singles match for the AAA Latin American Championship: El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. versus El Hijo del Vikingo with Dorian Roldan.
Oh man, I mean, it should be another great match. I don't really know. This is kind of a hard one here, actually. I'll go with the King. No, if I'm going War Raiders to retain, I'm sorry, to win, I'm gonna go with Dr. Wagner Jr. Oh, yeah.
Same as well. And the main event, which is possibly the biggest match of the year so far, biggest feud of the year: El Grande Americano versus the original El Grande Americano in a mask versus match. Jesus Christ, mask versus mask match. Lucha de apuestas, mascara ganchera, mascara match. So, who do you got?
I got Kaiser Americano winning, but I will say this though: the fact that WWE, they treat this feud like a joke in America on WWE TV, and they treat this feud in AAA like the serious fucking feud that they do. It is fucking amazing to me, and it's kind of shameful that WWE treats this like a joke, because this is pure wrestling at its finest right here. Pure wrestling at its finest. The hatred, the heat. Kaiser getting that celebration after I know we're probably not going to talk about it, but of his arrest that he had last week rather, and him crying and stuff. He was kissing babies and like this guy's the most over thing in fucking Mexico, bro. Like, fucking unreal. The fans love him down there. They got murals of him. They got murals of him down there. Like, it's fucking incredible. It's incredible shit. Like this is why I love like other wrestling outside of WWE. You know, even though it's technically on a WWE umbrella, this has the spirit of AAA Mexican wrestling. If WWE didn't own AAA and they just sent their talent down here, I think I will still watch this match regardless, even though it wasn't under WWE umbrella. So, like, this feud has been that good. But I am going with Kaiser Americano to win, number one, but also number two as well. I don't know what they're gonna like. It's kind of stupid because on Raw they're gonna treat Kaiser Americano as a heel, which is stupid, and they're gonna treat Gable as a babyface. But is Gable gonna show back up with a mask on Monday? If that's the case, like, I don't know. We'll see. But that's my prediction.
Yeah, I'm going for Kaiser too. Again, just it's almost baffling the booking between him on the main roster and AAA, whereas AAA he looks like a god, like he's a god in Mexico.
And not even that, but like they got the Creed brothers unmasked in Mexico, but they got a mask in America. Like, Jesus Christ, like, can we be consistent on what we're doing?
Yeah, exactly. But so you brought up the arrest. I'll just kind of skim through it real quick. So I believe it was last week. Kaiser, whose real name is Marcel Barthel, was charged with simple battery out of Florida after an alleged incident inside his apartment complex. The victim in the case claims that Barthel threw multiple punches and knocked him to the ground. This apparently happened after an elevator ride in which the victim made a comment about Barthel and an unidentified woman who was the announcer for AAA. I believe so. Being uncontrollably intimate with each other. It said that Kaiser has absolutely no heat within WWE arrest, which she shouldn't. Days after he turned himself to the police, another story surfaced online about what happened with the night between Barthel and the alleged victim. Fightful Select has spoken to a number of sources within the company that believe the story about him defending himself.
Yeah,
and that's her name, Andrea Bizarte, from Ice Comments, was planted within WWE. There is an unfamiliar number that reached out to several members of the wrestling media with the story, as opposed to Kaiser and Andrea themselves or a member of WWE's team. Word also surfaced that past Monday that WWE had no intentions of disciplining Barthel. Those from Fightful spoke to, and WWE also expect the charges will eventually be dismissed, which Jeff Lippman, who's as we all kind of know, he's a lawyer. He did his research, pretty much just said nothing's going to happen. Like, based on the information they received, Kaiser doesn't have any heat. I also said that as well. And pretty much just regurgitating what I said before. So, basically, the gist of it is that him and his girlfriend were on an elevator and they're being intimate or uncontrollably intimate, which is probably the first time I heard that term. The first story was that the alleged victim had mentioned something to them that said, according to him, you try being more respectful, guys, and that Barthel just attacked him for no reason. The second story coming out is that the man in question had said something to the effect of, I'm going to call ice on that bitch. And then that's why Kaiser beat the shit out of him, which that sounds more believable, especially in the climate that we're living in politically. All in all, from what it sounds like, Kaiser's not going to get in trouble, which good, he shouldn't. It's good that you're defending your lady. All in all, this dude, whoever the fuck he is, just should have kept his mouth shut and left. I mean, yeah, we've been in that situation before where we see couples getting a little bit too intimate. Yeah, it does feel uncomfortable, but it's none of our fucking business.
Yeah.
I just leave and move on with the day.
I mean, at the same time as well, not to defend the other guy. Definitely not. Don't validate or whatever the fuck you said. I don't condone that, but also at the same time as well, like if they were being passionate in the elevator, they couldn't just wait until till they get to the room. They couldn't wait 30 seconds. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I gotta say about that.
Right.
Outside of that, I mean, yeah, I think Kaiser was definitely in the right of everything that he did.
So, but again, all in all, Kaiser will be fine. So yeah, that's night one, May 30th, which is this Saturday. And there's week 2 on June 6th. The only match so far, which looks like it's for the mixed tag team titles. Actually, no.
Oh, no, I think it's the one. It's like a
La Catalina
six woman tag match.
All right, so La Catalina, Lola Vice, and Bailey versus La Toxicita. Jesus Christ, Toxicas.
Yes.
Flammer, La Hydra, and Marivilla. That'll be week 2. So, but that is the show for this weekend. So let's go to Clash in Italy real quick, which is this Sunday, May the 31st. It'll be at 1 p.m. Central Time in Italy. Turin, Italy, at the Analpi Arena. I believe it's the first time a pay-per-view or WWE pay-per-view has been in Italy, correct?
That's correct, yep.
All right. And here are the matches that we have so far. So we talked about Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. You and me both agreed Brock's going to win.
Yeah.
All right. Becky Lynch versus Soruka for the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
I got Becky Lynch.
What I more than likely will be the main event, Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu in Tribal Combat.
It's not going to be the main event. It's going to open up on ESPN. They said so on Monday.
Okay. So Roman Reigns is going to win regardless. Singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. Yeah, Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill.
Rhea.
And I believe this is the main event. Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the undisputed WWE Championship.
Gunther.
There we go. Looks like a solid card. Could be a very good pay-per-view, so we'll find out. But
it looks like a very, very great card. Just
right.
Hopefully the commercials are to a minimum. With 5 matches, I doubt that. Hopefully they have a 6 match, but I don't think that's not going to happen. So I don't want to get my hopes up with that.
But those are the shows. Let's just do some news real quick because we do have some news to talk about. We already talked about the Kaiser thing. These are just possible returns. Enzo and Cass might be coming back to WWE. I know Cass, his contract is coming up in AEW. And it's said that Amore's indie schedule is becoming a lot lighter. Fightful Select has since learned from those close to Enzo Amore that some promoters are being told that he was not taking bookings in the future and that he regularly would be taking. Those promoters are operating on the assumption that Enzo is headed to the WWE, will be signing there. Big Cass, his contract with AEW/ROH, wrestling as Big Bill, is still reportedly expiring in the next few weeks. His last match with the promotion was a win alongside Brian Keith and against Nick Halen and Van Parker on ROH back in April 6th. Said that Enzo Amore is at the Performance Center. The WWE Performance Center. So Enzo and Cass returning. I'm good with that. I thought Enzo and Cass they're a great tag team. They were over like Rover. Never won the main tag team championships. That was when the Hardys came back, so that kind of slowed down the momentum. And then they broke up.
And then they turned on. Then they turned Cass on Enzo. Then Enzo became a heel for the cruiserweight division,
which that actually worked. Like that was actually getting over. And then what happened, which
again he got fired for no reason.
Yeah, and then come to find out that the girl was lying. Even her friend said that, hey, she's lying.
Yeah, believe all women, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like you said, got fired for no reason. They pushed Big Cass for some reason in a feud with Daniel Bryan, and then he was gone after that. But yeah, Enzo's been doing pretty well in the independent circuit. Looks like he's in great shape. I've heard from people that know Enzo that say he's a good dude. Like he'll show up to indie events and just bring shit for people. Like he showed up to like Shaheen, friend of the show, fellow Persian, who's done artwork for the show, has said that he actually has met Enzo at some indie events, and that he just showed up one night and just brought Jordans for everybody at the show.
Yeah,
like Jordan sneakers. So, and then Big Cass, like he's gone through the ringer, but he's in the best shape I've ever seen.
Yep.
And he just got married to DDP's daughter, so he's doing pretty well for himself. So, if those two came back, I'd be happy. Because like you mentioned with the tag team division, they need something, and I think Enzo and Cass coming back would be a shot, for not just the tag team division. I think for the show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect them to put on like fucking classics or anything, but
they don't.
I think they'll be very good. I mean, you know where I will actually put them. I'll put them in NXT as well. I think they'll be very well in NXT as well for a little bit. Then pull them up to the main roster, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully something good comes out of it.
Speaking of another return, Baron Corbin is said to be returning to the WWE. WWE is reportedly close to reuniting with a former United States champion. Since the conclusion of WrestleMania 42 weekend, WWE released more than 30 different superstars. I'm on Men's Journal, by the way, reading this. According to a report from Fightful Select, Bishop Dyer, better known as Baron Corbin, is close to returning to WWE. Bishop Dyer has finished up obligations with some companies that he had been working with regularly, including MLW. He's believed to be either signed by WWE or will be imminently. Sorry. Yeah, he'll be allegedly returning to WWE. Um, again, I got no issue with that. You know,
I mean, I don't really see him doing anything like
no, agreed. I
like
mean,
it.
I think of all his work, I mean, did he have decent matches on the show? Yeah, I mean, depending on who you put him with, but like, I thought his run on NXT, whenever he was on NXT and he was, teaming up with Braun and having matches with Carmelo Hayes, I thought that was maybe his best work, like overall. Obviously, bum ass Corbin was his best character work. Yeah, him coming back, I don't think it's gonna light the world on fire. It kind of looks like, and I don't know, maybe I'm overanalyzing. They might just pair him up with Danhausen
That's possibly what they're gonna end up doing. Yeah,
to be his Frankenstein. So
I mean, if it gets some work, but it's like, yeah, man,
we'll see. And then lastly, you brought this up earlier. WWE reportedly interested in FTR as AEW future comes into question. Insiders at Bodisam now say they are quickly approaching the option year for those agreements for their contracts, and that has brought into question their long-term future. Sources close to the situation describe FTR as believing their value and consistency over the last several years should place them among AEW's top-tier acts financially. There has also reportedly been at least preliminary interest from WWE communicated through mutual contacts as the situation continues to draw attention internally. And that's pretty much it. And they just recently had, the match at Double or Nothing with Coke and Christian. So,
yeah.
Basically, all in all, what it sounds like is that they want more money. Do you think AEW gives that to them? And B, do you see them coming back to WWE?
I will say number one. Do I think AEW will give them more money? I don't see that. I don't see why they have to do that. I think WWE could give them more money if they're really serious about, reviving the tag team division. If they're serious about reviving the tag team division, and if FTR is coming up, you get FTR, and we know how much Triple H loved the revival.
Yeah, and also not for nothing, they got CM. They're friends with CM Punk,
and Punk is there too.
So I mean, they do have some AEW people there. I mean, I think they're friends with Cody.
I don't know, but
tight with Cody.
I'll say this though. I think I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think it's definitely a possibility. If you had a gun to my head right now, I'm like, oh, pick one, AEW or WWE. I'll say AEW. I think if you put me in a situation, I'll say yeah, they'll probably stay in AEW. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if they do go back to WWE for those particular reasons.
I mean, at the end of I wouldn't be surprised if they stay in AEW because, that Dax is pretty much, we've talked about it. He's, the big AEW cheerleader, for better or for worse. But at the end of the day,
but you do that with a lot of the companies that you work with, like. Of course, they're going to be the cheerleaders of that particular company. Chris Jericho, for a while was the AEW cheerleader until he was in the contract situations and he was critical of AEW. So until they brought him back. So it's like, of course, like why would they be like, AEW sucks when Tony Khan's paying your money? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but for Dax, it was always like anytime anyone had one iota of a criticism, the response was, "Oh, you're going to stop me from feeding my family?" It's like, I literally didn't say that.
No.
So, again, that's neither here nor there. But at the end of the day, this is a business. So, like, if I'm working at McDonald's and Burger King, offered me more money, I'm going to go after where there's more money. So, I do think if WWE offered them a lot, more money, and like you just said, they want this tag team division to be interesting and to be serious again, you're going to want to go after FTR. Just like they're allegedly bringing back, Enzo and Cass.
Right.
So, I mean, if they came back to WWE, I wouldn't mind that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Because also at the end of the day, it's just like, what else do you have left to do in AEW?
Yeah, that's the other thing I was gonna say too. Like they don't have much left to do, and they put on like many great matches that they have. They put on some of the best sexy matches of all time in AEW. It's like what else do you do with them?
You know, it's like, are you gonna wrestle the Young Bucks for the 30,000th time?
Yeah, they don't have to. You know what I mean?
No, but I don't know. It's one of those things of like, you know, if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, you know, it's not gonna affect me whatsoever.
Right.
But yeah, that's all the news I have. Do you have any news?
No, you covered it all.
All right. And in that case, people, that is the show. That is the experience tonight. Ruben, if you're out there listening, I hope.
I mean, there was our news story, but it's gonna take fucking forever. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah, that was the Vince thing.
The Vince, the Vince Polovic, the shit that came out today.
Yeah, we're gonna need Ruben for that.
That's our thing too. I don't want to talk about Ruben because I know that's
gonna be a big
thing. That's the one particular stuff he's very passionate about. I don't want to do it without him. So
that'll pretty much be the whole show. But yeah, Ruben, if you're listening, I hope you're doing well. Get that. But yeah, that's enough. We are done for the night. Thank you, everyone. Of course, thank you, Justin.
Yeah.
And thank you to everyone listening on the YouTube channel as well as the Spotify, because I upload the audio portion of this on Spotify the very next day. Along with this show, The Experience, you can listen to other shows on the YouTube channel, like Lunches with Punches, which I do with Joe Punches. We talk movies and TV. We should be doing a new episode next week. There's also Friendly Neighborhood Marks with RJ, Brooklyn Savage, which we'll be doing a new episode tomorrow, live in the morning. So check that out. Also, Meadow Drive Hoops, a basketball podcast that I do with my friend Tony and his friend Mike. And that's really about it, people. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel. Look for us on Spotify. All the shows are on Spotify. And then Twitter X, look me up. I still call it Twitter. Fuck it. Instagram. I'm building a interesting following on TikTok, mainly due to movie reviews that I do. So look for that. And yeah, that's really about it, people. Justin, take us home.
Guys, know where to find me. Spinebuster Tees, spinebustertees.com. Get yourself a wrestling t-shirt. Takes about a week and a half to get out to you. Follow me on Spinebuster Tees on Instagram. Know what I'm doing inside of my shop. Reach Spinebuster Tees at the Wonderland of the Americas, June 25th. If you're in the South Texas area, we'll be having for the first time, and I think in many years, at least 8 years, Sue Young, former TNA Knockouts women's champion, will be inside my shop doing a meet and greet, auto signing, and yes, it should be pretty fun. So come check it out, and very much so appreciate that. Come support. Also inside my shop, you get action figures and t-shirts and trading cards and all the other great stuff. That's Spinebuster Tees at the Wonderland of the Americas, Spinebuster Tees on Instagram, and spinebustertees.com.
You heard them, people. All right, people. We will be back for the experience next week with Ruben, and it's going to be a doozy of a show. Just going to put it out there. And, of course, to review the shows this weekend. And I will be seeing you tomorrow with RJ. We'll be doing Friendly Neighborhood Marks. We'll be just talking about some things.
RJ,
the Brooklyn Savage. Those things include the Punisher One Last Kill special, the Lanterns TV show is going to be coming out in a few months, and also some movie related news. So we're done, people. Good night. Be safe, and hopefully our Spurs pull it out tomorrow. So, all right, people, take care and have fun. Peace.
Peace.